It's a Tuesday morning. Margaret, 72 years old, walks to her mailbox like she does every day. She is wearing her robe. She is humming. Life is calm. Then she sees it, a plain white envelope. The return address reads, Social Security Administration. She sits down at her kitchen table. She opens it slowly, and then her heart stops. The letter says she was overpaid. It says she owes thousands of dollars back. And it says that in 30 days, they will begin withholding half of her monthly Social Security check. Half of her income. Gone. Just like that. Margaret didn't do anything wrong. She didn't lie. She didn't cheat. But the government is about to take half of the money she depends on to pay her rent, her medicine, and her groceries. And friend, if you are watching this video right now, this same letter could already be on its way to your mailbox. I am Edward. I am a senior policy analyst, and for years I have helped retirees just like you understand the confusing rules that the government rarely explains in plain English. Today, I am going to walk you through exactly what this letter is, why thousands of seniors are receiving it right now, and the 3 official forms that can stop the 50% withholding before it ever begins. I am going to show you the exact words written on the Social Security Administration's own website. Not rumors, not opinions. The official rule. And please, stay with me until the very end of this video, because there is one mistake that nearly every senior makes when they receive this letter. It seems harmless. It feels like the right thing to do, but it can cost you your appeal rights forever. So pour yourself a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's protect your benefits together. Let me tell you about Robert. Robert is 67 years old. He lives in Ohio. He worked for 42 years as a maintenance supervisor at a school district. He paid into Social Security every single paycheck of his life. When Robert retired, his monthly Social Security check was $2,180. That check pays his mortgage. It pays his Medicare supplement. It pays for groceries for him and his wife, Linda. One day last spring, Robert picked up a small part-time job at the local hardware store, just 3 days a week. He earned a little extra money to take Linda on a trip to see their grandchildren. Robert thought he was being responsible. He paid his taxes. He saved his receipts. He didn't think he needed to report anything else. Then, 8 months later, the letter came. The Social Security Administration said Robert had been overpaid by $4,800. The letter said he had 30 days to respond. If he didn't, they would automatically begin taking 50% of his monthly check, $1,090 every single month, until the entire $4,800 was paid back. Now, here is where Robert made his mistake. And listen carefully, because this is the trap. Robert called the 1-800 number. He waited on hold for 2 hours. A representative finally answered. She was friendly. She told him, "Don't worry, Robert, we'll look into it." Robert hung up the phone. He felt relieved. He thought the problem was being handled. It wasn't. Because a phone call, by itself, does not legally stop the clawback. Only a written form does. Robert didn't know that. And 32 days later, his next Social Security check arrived for just $1,090 instead of $2,180. Linda cried at the kitchen table. The mortgage was due in 9 days. Friend, I am telling you Robert's story because I do not want it to become your story. So let's talk about the exact rule and the exact forms that protect you. Here is what the Social Security Administration's own website says, word for word. I want you to read this with me. If you don't pay us back within 30 days of the date on your notice, we'll automatically withhold 50% of your benefit or 10% of your SSI payment each month until the overpayment is repaid. That sentence is on the official SSA website. Right now, you can go look at it yourself. This policy was officially put in place on April 25, 2025, through what is called an emergency message inside the Social Security Administration. Before that date, the withholding rate was only 10%. Now, for new overpayment notices, it is 50%. Let me be clear about who this affects. The 50% rate applies to what the government calls Title II benefits. That includes retirement benefits, survivor benefits, spousal and family benefits, and Social Security disability insurance, also known as SSDI. If you receive Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, your rate stays at 10%. And if your overpayment notice was issued before April 25, 2025, you are also still protected at the 10% rate. Now, here is the part that makes seniors angry, and rightfully so. According to AARP and the Social Security Inspector General's own July 2024 report, most of these overpayments are not the fault of the senior. They are caused by mistakes inside the Social Security Administration itself, wrong calculations, outdated income records, computer errors. But the law, codified at Title 42 of the United States Code, Section 404, requires the SSA to try to collect the money back, even when the mistake was theirs. That is the bad news. The good news is you have powerful legal protections, and I am going to show you all three. Shield number 1, Form SSA-561, Request for Reconsideration. This is the form you file if you believe the overpayment never happened or if the amount is wrong. You must file this form within 60 days of the date on your notice. You can find it at SSA.gov/forms/SSA-561.html, or you can call your local Social Security office and ask them to mail one to you. Shield number 2, Form SSA-632-BK, Request for Waiver of Overpayment Recovery. This is the most powerful form for most seniors. You file this if two things are true. First, the overpayment was not your fault. Second, paying it back would cause you financial hardship or simply be unfair. If the SSA approves your waiver, you owe nothing, not $1. The debt is wiped clean. And here is something most seniors do not know. If your overpayment is $1,000 or less and you believe it was not your fault, you don't even need to fill out the form. You can request the waiver simply by calling 1-800-772-1213. That information comes directly from SSA's own advocate news page. Shield number 3. Request a lower repayment rate. If you agree you owe the money, but 50% of your check is just too much to survive on, you have the right to request a lower repayment rate. You will need to show your monthly income and your necessary expenses like rent, utilities, food, and medicine. And here is the most important sentence in this entire video. Listen carefully. The SSA's own website states, "If you ask for a waiver or appeal within 30 days, we won't collect the money until we decide on your request." That means the moment you file the paperwork properly in writing, the 50% clawback is frozen. They cannot touch your check until your case is reviewed. Now let me tell you what happens if you ignore the letter, because this is where it gets very, very serious. If you do nothing, the 50% withholding will continue every single month until the full debt is paid. For the average retiree in 2026, that is over $1,000 gone from each check, possibly for years. If you no longer receive Social Security, the SSA can legally seize your federal tax refund, garnish your wages, withhold certain state payments, and report the debt to credit bureaus. And there is one more thing I have to tell you, and it is hard to hear. According to SSA.gov, if you die before the overpayment is repaid, the SSA may pursue your surviving spouse or your dependent children for the remaining balance if they receive benefits on your record. That is why we must act, and we must act early. If you have already received a letter, or if one arrives in the future, here are the 3 exact steps you must take. Write them down, or pause the video and take a screenshot. Step 1. Read the letter the same day. It arrives, and mark your calendar. Do not put the letter in a drawer. Do not wait to deal with it later. Open it the day it arrives. Find the date printed on the top of the notice. Then circle 3 dates on your calendar. Day 30, the day automatic withholding begins. Day 60, the deadline for Form SSA.561, the reconsideration. Day 90, the final appeal window. If you act before day 30, the clawback is frozen. Step 2, file the correct form, in writing, not just a phone call. Remember Robert, a phone call alone does not protect you. You must file paperwork. If you believe you do not owe the money, file Form SSA-561. If you agree you owe it, but the mistake wasn't your fault and you can't afford to pay, file Form SSA-632-BK. You can submit these forms in 3 ways: by mailing them to your local Social Security office, by bringing them in person, or by uploading them through your My Social Security account at SSA.gov. Always, and I mean always, keep a copy for yourself and request a receipt or a date stamp confirmation. Step 3. Document everything and get a witness to your numbers. Open a single folder. Label it Social Security and Overpayment File. Inside, keep the original letter, your filed forms, copies of your bank statements, your monthly bills, your medication receipts, and a notebook where you write down every phone call you make to the SSA, including the date, time, and name of the person you spoke to. If you have a trusted adult child, a friend, or a financial counselor, ask them to sit beside you while you fill out the forms. 2 sets of eyes catch mistakes, and mistakes on these forms can cost you your case. Friend, I want to say something before we end. You worked your whole life for this benefit. You paid into Social Security with every single paycheck for 30, 40, sometimes 50 years. This is not a handout. This is your money, and you deserve to keep every dollar of it. But the truth is, the rules are changing faster than ever. The 50% withholding policy I just explained to you didn't exist a year ago. New Medicare prior authorization rules are rolling out across 6 states. Bank withdrawal limits are tightening. Airport ID rules for seniors are shifting. And most retirees only find out about these changes after they've already lost money. I don't want that to happen to you. That is why I want to personally invite you to click the link in the description below and join our Global Senior Alerts official WhatsApp channel. When you join, you will receive a free copy of our Senior Benefits Protection Guide, a step-by-step PDF that includes the exact forms, phone numbers, deadlines, and sample letters you need to protect your Social Security, your Medicare, your pension, and your bank accounts. And more importantly, you will get real-time alerts the moment a new rule is announced, so you are never caught by surprise again. Do not rely on YouTube notifications alone. The platform doesn't always show you my videos in time, but on our WhatsApp channel, the alerts come straight to your phone the moment a rule changes. So click the link below, join the channel, download your free guide, and share this video with one friend, one neighbor, or one family member who is over 60, because the letter we talked about today could be sitting in their mailbox tomorrow morning. I am Edward. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Stay informed, stay protected, and I will see you in the next video.